Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. I cannot even believe that it is our 100th episode of this podcast. When I started this last July, so it has been a little over 6 months, I was really excited about it. I knew that it was going to be something that would allow me to talk to you in a way that I really had never talked to you guys before. And that's because on Instagram, it's all video, photos, showing all the stuff, which to me, is really an important part of being a designer, right? To actually show and educate and show all the stuff. So I didn't know how a podcast would go, right? Because I don't get to show you all the stuff. Instead, I get to talk to you about mindset. I get to talk to you about what I'm doing as a designer, how I've gotten over humps as a designer. As creatives, we need a lot of positive energy, and I hope that you have felt and know that you are getting that from me here on this podcast. It's just been so fun. So it's our 100th episode, which for me, I was like, what do I talk about on the 100th episode? And it came to me so quickly. I was like, oh my gosh, we are going to talk about milestones. I remember thinking about milestones when my first daughter turned 8. I think, especially as a mother, some of you are going to very much relate to this. It's like day in, day out, day in, day out. And you're not sure if anything you are doing even matters. Tell me if you have felt this way. You're like, I don't know if anything I am teaching these kids is, being infiltrated into that brain of theirs. I have no idea if I'm teaching them correct principles. I have no idea if you don't know. And so when you hit milestones, then you kind of feel like, oh, okay, I'm doing an okay job. Or my favorite is just feeling like seeing them do something and it feels like a milestone, like, oh my gosh, they did that on their own, okay? Especially little ones, when they start doing things on their own, you start feeling like, okay, this is working. I'm not totally failing as a parent here. So let's talk really quick about some milestones. And I think the other reason this came to my head is at the time of recording this, it's been a little bit now, but my oldest daughter turned 18. Wow. Talk about milestones. I'll tell you this funny story. When I was pregnant with her, it's your first pregnancy, right? And I was due on January 6th. And for 2 days, I walked. We lived in Minnesota at the time because I finished my master's degree. 10 days later, I had her. So I was about to start my Ph.D. after having her. And so a couple days before she was born, I was like, this baby is going to come out. I'm like so excited to meet her. Also, I'm tired, very, very tired of being very, very pregnant. It's January and it's Minnesota. Those of you in Minnesota or any of that northern area, you know what January looks like, okay? It is one of the reasons we don't live in Minnesota anymore, because I loved Minnesota. I loved the people there. I loved the cities. It was so fun. But man, January, you guys. So I walked for 2 days for 7 hours a day, the Mall of America. The Mall of America is big for a reason. It's because you never have to leave. And I just walked it. I walked it and I walked it and I walked it, saying this baby is going to come out no matter what, on time, okay? Her due date was January 6th, you guys. And she certainly was not coming early. That was the thing that I figured out real quick. And I remember walking and thinking, this baby is never going to come out of my belly. She is stuck there. First of all, I couldn't imagine, birthing a baby. Do you guys remember what that was like? It feels like a million years ago. But I just remember thinking to myself, I don't know what it's going to be like to birth this baby. And what is it going to be? Like, who is she going to be? What is, the whole thing felt foreign. And I remember really thinking these words, which is, well, she can't stay in there until she's 18. That was my way of reassuring myself that even if she was 2 weeks overdue, that she was going to come out eventually. Fast forward 18 years later, she is no longer in my belly, and it seems amazing to me that 18 years have passed. They just went like this. I think that milestones are important, and we should celebrate them in the way that you best can celebrate them. Now, she is not a big celebrator. She's an introvert, and over the years, I have thrown her many parties that made her cry because, wow, were they overwhelming. So this time we decided we invited 4 friends, only 3 could make it, and then she wanted her sister. And we got a hotel room, and we blew out a candle, we swam, we hung out. She went to bed at her normal bedtime, which is very, very early. I think she stayed up an extra hour, and the rest of them stayed up super duper late. But it was still a way to celebrate this amazing thing that she had lived these 18 years. And you guys, I want to say this to you because it took me a lot of years to kind of figure this out and lots of therapy. But just being born is a worthwhile celebration. I'm not a big birthday celebrator for myself. I love the day. I usually want it to be a quiet day. In that way, I think I'm a little bit like her. I actually don't want a ton of acknowledgement. I just want it to be a day where I can do the things I want to do. If I can get in some painting or some designing that day, I feel pretty awesome. Like that feels pretty good to me for a birthday. And if you haven't figured it out yet, that by simply being born, you are worthy of the celebration. I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know what you're doing, but just being born is a worthwhile celebration because you're here, because you're contributing to this planet, because you're a worthwhile human being. So, 100th episode. I cannot even believe it. Here's to 100 more in just another 6 or 7 months. I love, love, love being here with you. And if you love being here with me, will you do me a favor? I rarely even ask it, but will you write me a review on the podcast? It really helps this podcast get seen and shown to others who are wanting to become designers, who want someone to tell them how worthy they are, just like you are worthy of everything, okay? And it just really helps me out. And if you've been enjoying what I have to talk about, it just makes it so that I want to give you more in this podcast, tell you more about what you can do as a creative and how strong and amazing you are. So if you don't mind leaving me a review, I appreciate it so much. All right, you guys, it's a milestone. Celebrate the milestones you've got coming up in your life, especially in this year. Go after them. Get excited for them. I know you can do it. Whatever you're going after, some of you are going after big things. Celebrate all the stuff along the way. All right? Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.